Welcome back. Straight into it. Getting into episode 5 now. We're going to actually start the new order process. So it's going to be a little bit of a on the go type creating. I just wanted to keep it as authentic as possible where it comes to how I would normally go about it when I'm first starting off. But also just throwing in, like, I know what I am looking for at the same time, and just to give you guys a heads up, and this is stuff you need to consider. So just between now and then, it's literally been maybe 10 minutes, not even, I've gone and created another SharePoint list just called site locations. We're going to need that because when we're creating an order, we need to assign a location that the person is either at or they want the items to be sent to, right? So I've just put this here for now. It's just very, very simple. We can always expand. So at the moment, we're working off 2 SharePoint lists. We've got one that collects the main order, which will have the reference number, the gender cut, and the employee name. That's all that's there at the moment. And then we've got another SharePoint list that's just for site locations. So moving straight into it, when creating a new order, I want it to go to another screen. And this screen will have everything pretty much. Eventually we're going to have to make a category reference screen. We're not going to get that. When we click this button, all I want it to do right now is I want it to ask me what gender cut I want, ask me what type of order it is, and then ask me what location. So just from what I've said there, the only thing that we need to add to this is now type of order. So I'm just going to create a new column. And once again, I'm just keeping to my current naming convention, and I'm just going to call this order type. Okay. Now you can use a choice column if you want, if you really, really want to. I'm just going to leave it as single line of text because I'm going to have all my choices in the actual app itself, right? You can do it this way. I'm just going to leave a single line of text. Alrighty, so that's it. That's the column done. Now, when we are editing an app and we make changes to SharePoint, very important that we go to data and we do refresh it. So we've added the order type. That's all good to go. So let's start to create what the order screen is going to look like. The new order screen is going to look like. So I'm just going to go new screen because I don't want to keep it all on one screen. I'm not even 100% sure what else I need to have on the home screen. I kind of do want to have numbers almost, or even the orders here. Like I've still got to work that out. So for now, I want to keep this on a separate screen. I do want to keep some sort of top banner. So I might even just have this here and just make it a little bit smaller. So we can now reduce this to 1 and bring this up like so. And we'll just have here, just so we know what screen we're on, we'll go new order. Right. So one of the first things we need to ask, right, is what gender cut, right? So I'm just going to do a gallery, horizontal, and I'm just going to go here and we'll do male cut and female cut. Right. And what I want to do is I want it to be a decent size, so we're just going to go parent.width divided by 10 times 5. Right. Too big for me width wise, that's a bit better. So now let's do the height the same. We'll just grab this, go self.width, like so. So now it's right in the middle. The only problem is, as you can see, it's going to be a bit, it's going to be long, so I don't want that. And then we'll just divide it by 2. So it's right in the middle. This is it right here. Now I want to bring this in the middle. So we'll do x-axis is parent.width divided by 2 minus self.width divided by 2. That will make sure that that's right in the middle of the place. Whatever screen size it is, it's going to stay in the middle. So I do the same for the y-axis, but I do for height. So I'm literally just getting what is the pixel, what is the properties for the height, and I'm dividing it by 2. And then I'm minusing the height of the container itself, right, for the gallery, like so. Like that. And then I need to make sure I divide it by 2 because I need half of it. Boom. Smack dab in the middle. Template size just needs to be 2, so I'll do the same thing, self.width divided by 2, and that should be fine. And then let's put containers in there just to give it some shadowy effects, like so. Boom. And then we'll do parent.width and parent.height. Oh, no, sorry, parent.template width. Gotta remember that. And then parent.template height. Template height. Right, now you can see it's kind of cut off, and we also got a scroll bar here. So in order to go there, like someone would have to do this, right? We don't want that. So we need to reduce the template size by a couple of pixels. And this, I think I explained this before, but we're just going to go -5. We'll just keep going up from 5 until we find that sweet spot where the scroll bar goes away. And now this is perfectly in the middle there, right? So now I'm going to add a label here. And we will make it the width of the container. Parent.width, and then we'll move it right into the middle. So parent.height divided by 2 minus self.height divided by 2. Alright, move this in the middle, make it a little bit bigger. For now, I'll add some more design to it afterwards. And then we're going to change the properties to this item dot value, right? So we'll still have this problem where I can highlight over it. So I'm just going to grab a button and put it over the top because I don't want people to be able to see that. So we'll just go parent.width, and then height is parent.height. You can, like, if you really want to, you can save what I've just done. It's probably actually easier for me to do that, so I can come back to here and just grab this button that I created here and then make sure I put in the container. So now it's just pasted there nice and quickly. I tend to just forget about that and I go straight for what I just did here. And then once again, you can see this is highlighted. Hover's gray, and I'm just going to make it a bit bold just so it stands out a bit. So it's just mail cut. Nice and easy. So what I need this to do is when I select one of these, I need this to disappear. But I also need to capture I've actually, selected one of those, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go new order screen. Now I also need to make sure that I am putting this information somewhere. So what I like to do is you can patch all the information I'm about to get if you want. That's the harder way of doing it. What I like to do is, one second. I will just create a blank screen, and I will actually just put the form in here that I will submit later. So we'll just go edit form, and we'll make sure that this is set to new, and we'll do the data source as this uniform orders. So now what I have here is I have all the fields that I need to enter, and I'll delete these ones, and I'll just make them all one line, just so it's easier for me to scroll through to find them, right? So gender cuts here, right? I want to set variables for all this type of stuff. So what we're going to try is we're going to set a global variable, global order. So we'll go new order details, right? And we're going to set like this. So we're actually creating like an array for this. Just going to bring this down a bit, and we're going to do order number, and we're just going to go blank for now, comma, and then we'll go gender cut, and then we'll do this item dot value. And what else did we need? Eventually we need location, so we also need to put in a couple other things. So we need employee name, right, which is user dot full name, and then employee email, which is global user email. All right, and then we're going to close this off. So now what's going to happen is when I click one of these buttons, the main thing that's going to change is this gender cut value, right? That's the main thing. Right? So it creates all that for us. So if I click mail, what it's done is I go global, and we can see here new order details. We've got the employee email, got employee name, gender code, we just don't have order number. So what we could do is we could, on this press, we could actually generate an order number. So if we just call it something like TJK Pro underscore order, we'll go order. Actually, let's just go TJK, and then we'll just do today's date. So we'll do now, sorry, what I'd like to do, so make sure you do your ands, now. So now we'll get the date time value of right now, but we also need to wrap that in text so we can make that into a text value. So I'll go now, and then you want to give it the formatting of it, right? You want to format the text. So we want day, day, month, month, year, year, and then hour, hour, minute, minute. So what that's going to do now, as you'll see in a second, is when I click on one of these buttons, it's actually going to create a order number based on date and time of right now. So if I click here, you see the order number is like that. But because I did 3 M's, it's going to do DEC. We don't want that, we just want 2 M's. So if we go like this, click it again. So we can see it's 2012? Is that right? No, what have I done? Oh, I've done date. 20th of December 2024 at 15:37. Right. And now, just in case someone happens to be doing it at the same time, we're going to do a random between. And we want to wrap this in text as well. Rand between, and we'll do one, oops. Top number between is 001. Bottom number is 0 and 1, top number is 100, right? So pick a random number between 1 and 100, and then we want to make sure that it's at least 3 numbers, numerical values, right? So now what will happen is if I click this, you can see here the 3 numbers are random. I'll even put a label here so we can see it be generated in time. So if we go global, so now when I do global new order details, it has properties. So I hit full stop, and then I can see order number. So there's my order number right there. Now every time I click this, it's going to randomly generate a number between 1 and 100. I can always change this to be between 100 and 999 if I want to. So now that's just going to keep creating. So now it's like an 800 chance, like 1 in 800 chance, something like that, ridiculous, of 2 people at the same time or 10 people at the same time having the exact same order number, right? If I really wanted to push it any further, I can go minute or seconds. I can always change this to day and month, get rid of the year if I wanted to, but this just allows us to make sure that no number is the same unless the possibility of 800 people doing one order at the same time. Yes, it is long. This is just the way that I like to do it. You don't have to do it. You can think of any other type of random generation if you want. But I've seen it that if you do like 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 100,000, eventually someone's going to have the same order number as you. And you need a way to differentiate that. That's just my say on that. We'll move on. You can always do year and month, I suppose, if you don't want to do the date. But then you're still reliant on, there's still, 28 to 31 days in any particular month. So you need to be hopeful that, your 1 in 10,000 number doesn't come up again, for an example. But that's just how I like to do it. So now when we select on this, it's going to set the properties for this. And then what we want to do is we want to control viewing this pop-up appearing based on visible properties, right? So we also just want to do a context, and we'll just call it LOC, or local, sorry, underscore gender cut pop-up, right? So we know exactly what it is, and we're going to set this to false. So what that means is if I come now to this property, go visible, and I set this visible property to be the gender cut pop-up, it's disappeared. So what you can do is your screens actually have properties as well. So in the property drop down, you can see you have all these ones. The main one that we're going to play with is on visible. So when the user comes to this, what do we want to do? And we can actually set globals from here. So we're going to set this pop-up to be true. So now when I go from home to here, this comes, and then when I press 1, whoop, I've put mail cut there. Let me just quickly fix that. Mail cut. So now when I select this, it disappears. So now we have a function that works when we're on visible. So what we can do now is we can actually set a navigation for this. So if we go back to our on start, and you can do this anytime. I was just doing this after I had done this particular thing so I could show. So we're going to go to our on start. We're going to come to our navigation collection, and we're actually going to change this move screen from blank, and we're going to actually put it as the new order screen. Make sure you run on start because it's not going to load that in until you do that. So now what happens, if I click any of these buttons, nothing happens. As soon as I click new order, oh, it should work. Don't know why it's not. Oh, because I haven't coded it. So take a step back, we need to code it. So we go to on select. So we are selecting that transparent button. We're going to change this to navigate, and then we're going to navigate to this item dot move screen, and then we're also going to set a transition. So we'll set it to cover. So now when I hit this, it switches to this screen, as you can see, like that. Now I just hit the gender cut just so it disappears, but now we also got to think there's actually no way for us to return home. So how are we going to do that? What I like to do, just temporarily for now, is I'll put a home icon. Oops, here. Move it over here. We're going to divide this width. Parent.width divided by 2. Sorry, that's my bad. Self.height. The height I had to do. Parent.height divided by 2. Alright, so there it is there. We're going to change the color to white. And I'll just bring it out here a little bit. And make it a little bit smaller. It's not going to be permanently fixed there, it's just there for now. So now if I go here and go on select, and we'll just navigate this back to the home screen, and we'll do the uncover. Uncover row. So now I have a way of getting back and forth, like so. Nice and easy. Tell you what, trying to put everything I want to put into an episode, it can take its time. It takes a long time. The video is now about a 15-minute mark, so I'm going to have to wrap it up a little bit quicker. As I said, I want to keep it to 20 minutes a piece, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come back to here. So I'm just going to go, going to name this dev new order form screen. We're not actually ever going to navigate to this in the app. It's just here at the moment. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to set some of these properties, right? Because we've got a lot of this information coming through already, we're just going to set it. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to set the default of this one because this is a new form. And what I'll do is I'll just add a little thing up here just so we know it's for the new form. New form, like so. I'm going to change this parent.default, and I'm going to go global new order details, and then I'm going to set this to the order number. So now anytime we have that order, it's just automatically going to put it in here, right? And this form is only going to be submitted for new orders. I'm then also going to change this to the global gender cut. This is going to be the current person. Now this will change eventually when we add the ability for someone to order on behalf, but that's still a little bit down the track, and we have that flexibility as well. So I'm going to just do user, or you can actually go global. We'll set this up already, so we'll go new order, and we'll do employee name. That's why I've done it. And then we'll also set this to global, whoops, global new order details, and we'll do employee email. What that means for us is when we come here and we have a button here, we just hit submit form, and we'll do form 2, I think it is. Right. And I'm just going to put a notify on here just so we know which form we've submitted. So if this is submitted successfully, we are going to notify the user, and we're going to say new order form has been submitted successfully. So you'll see what notify does. Notify is very helpful to let the user know that something's happened, right? Just so they're not like, oh, what's happening here, right? So when we submit the form, the on success is going to prompt and it's going to do this action for us. What we also wanted to do is we want to reset form, and we'll do self. Will that work? We'll see if that works, right? So now we want to come back to the new order screen, and then what we also want is we want it to clear the global. So we go set global new order details, and we're just going to set this to blank. We don't want anything there, right? We want it to be cleared. So now if we go home, we go here, go new order, we select mail cut, we press the button to submit, we go to SharePoint. We can see that all this information's come through. We didn't do the order type, which is fine. We'll do that next episode. All this information's come through. We go to properties of variables to see, and you can see here that it's now blank. So what that allows us to do is anytime someone goes new order, it's not actually going to do anything until we hit the mail, like one of those cuts, right? And then it's going to bring in all the information that we need, right, to start with. And then as we start to collect more information, we can start to patch more things into that that global variable, right, that array, as you can see here. So I'll leave it there. This is that next level step, and once again, I do implore you to review some of the previous episodes. This is just a ladder effect, is that we're just building upon each skill to develop a uniform app. Developing a uniform app is quite a big process, but it uses a lot of different functions, formulas, features, properties of Power Apps to really create something really, really good. And we're really scratching the surface of this. Thank you for watching.